Hello everybody, welcome to this beautiful expo. South Africa is amazing. I'm an original South African, happy to be here. Happy to conduct this talk, this fireside chat with Melih Oguzkan. I'm going to start with some introductions here. Melih, maybe you can start, introduce yourself. Here we're talking about know your partner, the do's and don'ts in tech and IB. And the partners we're referring to here are brokers and IBs, because it's a two-way relationship. Brokers have IBs as partners, and the IB has a broker as a partner. So, Melih, please introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself.
Sure. Thank you, Dinos. Hello all. I am here working for Finveo, representing my company. I am based in Istanbul, Turkey. We have a booth there for Finveo. This is our international brand of our Turkish company, Finveo. We are a 30-year-old company within providing financial services, and in the last 4 or 5 years we decided to expand to the international business on financial services, so mainly being a brokerage firm, and now it's going very well. And this is our first time in South Africa, so so far everything is great. Really, enjoying both country and the expo as well. I am working for Finveo for almost 4 years. I've studied finance and economics, and in these 4 years, it was like 14 years or 20 years. I had so many experiences with working in on the back office and also in the front office, and I had so many chances to work with different partners, IBs, affiliates. Even I made some client management as well. So it was a great experience for me, and also Dinos here is also working for DGM, is a tech provider as well. So I have also many experience with working tech providers. So I believe that we will have share our experiences and knowledges.
Thank you, Melih. Yes, and my name is Michaelides. I am the director and founder of DGM Tech Solutions. We help brokerage firms with their technologies, all the technologies that they need to provide their services to traders and IBs around the world. We maintain and manage those platforms for the brokers. I am also the host of my own podcast, Financial Frontiers, Leaders in the Field. It's on YouTube, SoundCloud, different social media handles. Please feel free, get on, subscribe. We talk about the tech, all the stuff that happens on the backstage in the industry that traders may not be aware of. How is your money handled? How does your trade get executed? All these things that I think is not available on the internet, you can find on the Financial Frontiers podcast on YouTube. So let's get into our discussion over here. We have Melih with some experience and background, strong background on the broker side, and from my side, we'll give a bit of a tech discussion here because I think that's also important. How can IBs and how do brokers leverage off of technology to work with IBs? And so, Melih, I think, why don't we discuss about your personal experience of being an IB? Were you an IB? Do you know what it is to be an IB? I think from the professional standpoint, having discussions with several IBs put you in a strong position to know exactly what IBs need. And so let's go with your background here about your experience as an IB.
Well, I've never been an IB, but I would like to be one day because I think it's a great job. But it's hard. Of course, it has its challenges. First of all, client management is, I believe, one of the hardest things in this sector. It's so hard to make so many people happy at the same time, also satisfy them with your services. And being an IB is like, being an influencer. You are influencing people, you are asking them to trust you and follow you. It's a hard job, but it pays well. so it might worth it. But no, I haven't done it. The main challenges when I think and when I experience with the IBs, first of all, they are having issues with the regulatory challenges, because if I look from the IB side, it's really not easy to trust the brokers, because it's not only your money and your funds, but also many others that you are referring to the broker. So it means more responsibility, and on the regulatory side, that's why IBs should be really selecting the brokers very well, not to disappoint their clients, first of all. And on the other hand, when regulatory and these kind of legal issues happens, it might get dangerous for the IBs as well. So if I was an IB, probably that would be the first thing that I would be focusing on, on the regulatory side, how good and how strong is the broker.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because as we said before, it is a two-way relationship, and I think what each brings to the table is obviously the IB, as you rightly put it, the introducing broker has an influence over a mass amount of, or that's the theory, that they have an influence over an audience, and they want to refer, the IB's benefit in that relationship is, or rather the broker's benefit in that relationship is that the IB brings in the audience and influences them into getting the trading facilities at the broker. And then the IB's benefit is that they don't need to go through getting regulated and whatever it is. They fall under, let the broker handle the compliance and all of that, which is a very cumbersome, very difficult thing to maintain. It's a very regulated market, and rightly should be,
And it's also a very volatile market, and it's a risky market. So clients should always be aware of the risk if you're an IB, and because if you are following an IB as a client, when you lose money, you tend to blame them as well. So that's also one of the hardest part, being an IB.
Yeah, and so one needs to look after the other, because if the IB is doing some kind of non-compliant practice and onboarding customers with the broker, and then the broker has their license at risk, while at the same time, obviously, the broker needs the business, and especially in the region here in Africa, IBs play a very big role into the success of a broker.
Exactly. For example, in Finveo, like I said, it's a newly international brand, and IBs and affiliate partners are our main focus, our priority when we try to penetrate to a market like South Africa, like a new market to us that we don't have any experience with. So once we were trying with, I remember 2-3 years ago, we were trying to make some marketing strategies, and we had a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, who was always pushing us to, find some IBs and affiliates to focus on them. But we were not listening to him, and we were focusing more on digital marketing on behalf of our company. But later on, actually, we understood the importance of his advices, because after we got some experiences with some jurisdictions that we don't have any experience, we found we had really successful partnerships with IBs, and it was actually so easy to penetrate the market, because it's word of mouth as well when you service them very well, and when IBs also get paid very well, so they find more clients, and it's really also cost-effective way of doing business for the brokers as well. So you don't need to invest a lot at the beginning, but two sides, it's a win-win situation also, a good IB-broker relationship.
100%, and I think in the audience, I know there might be experienced IBs, there might be people who may be looking out to become an IB. I think, why don't we work through, maybe if you can, Melih, what is the experience, how does an IB, let's put a bit of value to somebody who wants to get into this. How do they get started? What do they need to know? And what is the process? Let's use Finveo as an example over here. What is the process that they need to follow? What should they look out for? The revenue share, I guess, is something important. Is there a login, or how can they track their clients? Walk them through that.
Well, being an IB is not very different on the onboarding process than being a retail client. The only addition is that you have an extra agreement with the broker on your own gains, like it's called rebate structure. We have some standard and some special rebate structures based on the IB's volumes and based on the IB's requirements. We are also very flexible on those. We have some IBs that are defining their own spreads of their clients, their own commissions. It's totally flexible. And with our technology and IB portal, they are all the information of their clients, of their different campaigns, their marketing materials, all of the clients and with deposits, withdrawals of their clients, they're all available. So it's really easy to follow and monitor their clients' performances from there. When it comes to the priorities and the first discussions we make with IBs, it's usually the rebates, like how much per lot rebates we give to the IBs, do we give CPA payments, etc. But we also check from the broker side the IB's background much more than the retail clients, because we are a publicly traded company in Turkey, and hence we are much more careful with the all the regulational things, and we are providing IBs some marketing material as well, and all of these marketing materials has to go from compliance approval, because our company name is also there. But this is actually a good key to build much more stronger and long-term relationships, because when you do it this way, like on the regulatory side, when you be so careful, the relationship, it's really hard to be get damaged easily, because the main issues that we or other brokers having with IBs are unhappy clients, and then the regulatory stuff, like sometimes negative balance productions, sometimes like rebates not paid, etc. But when you make the deal and agreements very correctly, all inclusive in the first place, then we are having much more stronger relationships.
Yeah, I mean, just in kind of practical walkthrough is you register just a normal registration as any trader would. And then I think what makes most sense is, or at least help somebody who doesn't have experience, is at least give them guides. I think the content that you mentioned, you give them marketing material that's available for them. I think that helps, because then the IB doesn't have to look for a designer or whatever it is and create the content. You just, you get it ready from the broker. And I guess just
also,
giving these guides.
We can provide IBs like landing pages through API connections, using the technological side, and those things are also making everything easier for the IB as well. They don't have to do much; just they have to manage their client relationships.
Yeah, and then I guess also for let's say the more experienced IBs who already have an audience, they've already done their referrals, they've got experience in the industry. What are you seeing from, let's say, the IBs that are performing better than others? Are they leveraging off of technology somehow? AI, people keep speaking about artificial intelligence, and this is this big trend, but how can you take some practical use cases and really use AI to leverage off of what you are already doing and good at, that has worked for you in the past, but technology keeps changing? And so are you seeing any new tricks around technology that IBs use that maybe we can provide here value to the audience?
Well, first of all, the more successful IBs I see, are the ones that caring more about the support quality than the bigger rebates, let's say, because if the broker's support quality is high, then IBs, first of all, don't have to focus on their client management, so they can also focus on gathering new leads and new clients as well. But when the support quality is low, they have to deal with so much other things and discussions, and they lose time. When it comes to the technology and new AI boom, let's say, I'm also seeing so much IB and introducers are trying to use the benefits of the latest AI tools that actually traders can use while they're trading. So also with AI, they can also add more channels to their lead generation sources. Like IBs usually they use some social medias, they use Discord channels, Telegram channels. With AI, they can support their clients, their followers much better by teaching their AI, and everything can be easier. But also they can have much let's say complex and sophisticated offers to their clients by using AI. So I am seeing some effort to include AI lately, mainly on the trading side, but also I think it's a great chance for managing client relationships as well. What do you think on that? I mean,
I think that makes a lot of sense. A real practical example is being able to speak to your audience at scale, and that's the leverage of that you can gain off of AI. That it's able to process so much more data than one single human can. So if you could imagine you're an IB that's got thousands and thousands of followers, and a lot of a corpus amount, massive amounts of comments and feedback from your audience that you won't be able to get through, well, plug it into some kind of an integration. And the difficulty around that, I guess, there's solutions that exist, right? And then you're able to pick up and just start asking asking questions on your following, your actual audience. What's important to them? What's trending? And you can just ask the normal questions that you ask if you could to your audience at scale. You just ask the AI, and then you can pick up trends and gems. You might pick up on some kind of a trend that you didn't know you had, like generally the spread on gold is not good, for example. You didn't know, you didn't pick it up, it didn't hit your radar because you're one human. But then you just ask the right questions. AI just makes a lot of sense. Let's move on to maybe a bit of a different angle, I guess, change the perspective a little bit. And Melih, what mistakes would you say a broker should avoid in terms of, what do you guys look out for in terms of mistakes when onboarding an IB? And also on the flip side, what mistakes should IBs avoid in terms of choosing the right partner as their, a broker, as being a partner for them?
Well, brokers, I believe, they should be much more careful with the IB when they're choosing an IB, because IBs can provide so many extra services to the brokers, like advices, educations. They can handle many of the stuff that broker has to do for their clients. However, some IBs are doing it, using a bit non-regulatory stuff to attract more clients, giving unlikely promises, not realistic promises to the clients, and at the end, it's the clients are having an agreement with the brokers, and brokers should be much more careful when choosing an IB, because the client should always be aware of the risk of their trades, and they should be happy, and they should be totally aware of what they're doing with the broker, and IB is the responsible person of it. On the other hand, IBs are also carrying, putting rebates and personal gains more in front than the quality of the broker and the regulatory stuff, regulatory compliance stuff, because in the short term it might be beneficial, but it's also, your name, your reputation, and so many things also included in the process. And in the long run, I believe it would be much more beneficial for IBs to, put the quality and support quality and regulation in front. Should we get some questions as well?
Yeah, we're down to just a couple of minutes. Let's open up some questions. Or maybe, we wrap it up. Can we get a microphone?
Hi, gents. Listen, you're obviously talking about tech, you're talking about the IBs. Melih, from your point of view, you're saying about entering new markets with IBs. I obviously have experience with this as well. Do you see they have more brand awareness value for you or a marketing awareness value when entering new markets?
Marketing. Because also from on the medium run, also brand awareness, but initially, first of all, it's much less cost to work with IBs from the broker side. And second of all, like I said, if you have really good service quality and IBs, with IBs, it's just, grows exponentially. And with much less effort from the broker side. But also in the mid run, it will create brand awareness. But that will probably, there should be a threshold, after some number of clients, your brand awareness will also improve itself.
Excellent, and that's obviously why yourselves and pick them so carefully, because it links in the tie. Fantastic.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. For me, it's for the first time I hear of IBs. I didn't know what that is. But now that you're speaking about it, I'm wondering if I want to introduce people to a particular broker. You mentioned that you do now thorough research of the IB. What would be the requirement for somebody who'd like to start into it, and what do we need to look out for that can probably work against us in acquiring that role? Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. Where to start? So you're asking. Well, we do definitely more due diligence on the IBs. We already have our default onboarding processes like ID checks and proof of addresses. But with the IBs, we add more security. We check them. We ask more like source of funds, and we dig deeper, and we check. We ask our compliance to check all of their marketing products and what they really do, and we make sure that they are not, they are giving right promises and right advices to the clients. So that's the most important part. And how to start? Well, that's a hard question because I've never been an IB, but how to start is start with networking. So this is, for example, a really good starting point, this event. Well, there are so many IBs I've also met today from the region, and there are so many traders as well. So meeting and knowing many new people, I believe that it will create a know-how, and then you will understand if the job suits you, and then I believe that things will come itself. Thank you.
Were there any other questions? I've got this big red sign here, time's up. It's in my face, but nobody's coming to take the mic. Thank you all very much.
Thank
Hope
you.
you have a good time.